Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we try to make sense of all the AI news that's bombarding us every day. And today, well, let's just say there's a lot to unpack.
There is. And some of it could really change, like, how we work and live.
Yeah, no kidding. We've got Amazon giving Alexa a generative AI makeover, ElevenLabs going for, global language domination with their new speech-to-text model. And then there's this interesting development with Grok AI censoring mentions of, let's just say, certain prominent figures.
We'll definitely dig into that. Plus, we'll look at Microsoft shaking things up with their open source models and a tip from Hazy Research that could save you a fortune on your cloud bills.
So buckle up, everybody. Let's start with Amazon. They're calling their revamped Alexa Plus. And the big selling point is it's powered by generative AI. What does that even mean for, someone who uses Alexa every day?
Well, think about it this way. Imagine, actually having a conversation with your AI assistant.
So, not just Alexa, set a timer or play some music, but more like actually bouncing ideas around.
Exactly. It could help you, brainstorm, write stories, even learn your preferences and make suggestions.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So how are they actually doing this? Is this real or just hype?
Oh, it's happening. They're using Anthropic's Claude AI and integrating it through Amazon's Bedrock platform.
Anthropic, right. They're the ones who are big on AI safety, aren't they?
Yeah, which is kind of interesting to see. Amazon partnering with them could mean they're trying to be more, responsible with their AI development.
Makes you wonder if they're playing catch up, though, in this whole AI assistant race.
Maybe. It's definitely a competitive space right now.
For sure. Okay, next up, we have ElevenLabs making a splash with their new speech-to-text system. Scribe, they call it. And get this, it can handle 99 languages.
I know, right? That's like almost every language spoken on the planet.
Pretty mind-blowing. What's so special about it, though, besides the sheer number of languages?
Well, it's super accurate. It also gives you word timestamps and can even identify different speakers in a conversation.
Well, that's handy. So what are the implications of that? Where could this be used?
Think transcription translation, making things more accessible for people with disabilities. The possibilities are pretty huge.
And they're also talking about this feature, real-world audio adaptability. What does that mean exactly?
Basically, it can filter out noise and still understand what's being said. Like if you're in a crowded cafe or something.
Right, or maybe even if there are multiple people talking at once.
Exactly. It could be amazing for video conferencing, podcasting, even analyzing security footage. The applications are vast.
All right, now let's talk about something a little more, shall we say, controversial. Grok AI, Elon Musk's project. Well, it's making headlines for censoring negative mentions of, Elon Musk and former President Trump.
Yeah, that raised a few eyebrows, to say the least.
So what happened exactly? Did they address it?
They did. They reversed the censorship quickly and said it was because of an engineer who was trying to do the right thing but made a mistake.
A well-intentioned mistake, huh?
That's their story. But it does make you wonder about bias in AI, right? Especially since Musk has been so vocal about woke AI and all that.
Right, the whole political neutrality thing.
Yeah, exactly. So this incident kind of throws a wrench in that, doesn't it?
It definitely makes you think about transparency and accountability in AI development.
For sure. These are conversations we need to be having.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about Microsoft. They released these new open source AI models called 5.4 Mini and 5.4 Multimodal. And what's really interesting is they're all about hardware efficiency.
Yeah, which is a big deal because a lot of these powerful AI models need massive computing power to run.
So these are designed to be more accessible. Is that the idea?
Yeah, they can run on less powerful hardware, so more people can use them and experiment with them.
And what can they do? Are they both for the same kinds of tasks?
Well, 5.4 Mini is more for text-based stuff, but 5.4 Multimodal, that one can handle text, images, audio, even video.
Wow, that's impressive. And they're open source, you said.
Yep. Developers and researchers can use them freely, adapt them to their needs.
That's a big step towards making this technology more democratic.
Right.
More people can get involved.
Definitely. And they're making these models available on Hugging Face, which is a popular platform for sharing AI models. So the barrier to entry is getting lower all the time.
This is all very exciting, but let's be realistic. A lot of this stuff, especially running AI in the cloud, it can get expensive.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Cloud bills are a nightmare for a lot of companies.
So any good news on that front?
Actually, there is. Hazy Research has come up with a pretty clever approach that could significantly reduce the cost of using AI in the cloud.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
So their idea is to use smaller local AI models on your devices, like little minions.
Minions. Okay, I like where this is going.
These minions handle specific tasks, and they're coordinated by a central master model in the cloud.
So you're not relying on the cloud for everything, you're distributing the workload.
Precisely. And Hazy Research claims that you can get like 97% of the performance at only 17% of the cost.
That's a huge saving. Hold on, though. There have to be some downsides, right? There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Of course, there are always trade-offs, and that's something we'll definitely explore further.
All right, so let's dig into those potential downsides in part 2 of our deep dive. We'll see you back here soon.
So yeah, like you were saying, there are some things to consider with this hazy research approach. For one, you got to keep all those little minion models updated.
Right, and secure, too.
Exactly. I mean, imagine having like dozens of these AI things running on your phone, your laptop, your smart fridge, who knows what else. Keeping them all up to date and safe from hackers, that's a job in itself.
It's like a whole new level of digital clutter. And what about tasks that need a lot of power, serious processing or tons of data?
Sure.
Can those little minions handle that?
That's a good question. This approach probably wouldn't work for something like, I don't know, simulating a nuclear reactor or training a massive language model. Those still need the big guns in the cloud.
Right, so it's not a magic bullet, but it could be useful for a lot of everyday AI stuff.
Absolutely. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. And it kind of ties into something we talked about earlier, how AI is constantly evolving and raising all these questions about bias, transparency, control.
Yeah, like that whole thing with Grok AI censoring certain topics. Even if it was an honest mistake, it shows how hard it is to make sure AI is truly neutral.
It really does. I mean, we're talking about systems that could have a huge impact on our lives. We need to be really careful about how we develop and use them.
It's not just about preventing bad stuff from happening, though, right?
Yeah.
It's also about making sure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Absolutely. AI should be a tool for good, for making the world a better place. But it's up to us to steer it in that direction.
We need to be having these conversations now, before things get too far along.
I totally agree. We need to think about the ethical implications, the potential risks, and how to minimize those risks.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of all this new tech,
Right.
But we can't forget the human element,
Right. Values, ethics, responsibility, all that stuff. It's got to be part of the equation.
Well said. So, big picture. Where do you see all this going? I mean, AI is moving so fast, it's hard to keep up.
It really is. And it's only going to get faster from here. That's why it's so important to stay informed, to stay engaged, to be critical thinkers about all this.
We need to be active participants in shaping the future of AI, not just passive observers.
Exactly. It's our future too, right? AI is going to be a part of it, whether we like it or not.
So to our listeners, I guess the question is, what excites you most about AI and what worries you? Think about it. Talk about it. Because this is the conversation we all need to be having.
Well said. That's the key takeaway for today, I think. AI is powerful, it's changing the world, and it's up to us to make sure it's a change for the better.
Yeah, it's been kind of wild, right? All this stuff we've talked about, it really makes you think.
It does. Like that whole thing with Hazy Research using those little AI minions to cut down on cloud costs, that's pretty ingenious.
Oh, I know, right? And it's just one example of how AI is changing things, like in practical ways.
For sure. And it's not just about making things cheaper or more efficient. It's about like expanding what's even possible.
Absolutely. We're just scratching the surface, really. Who knows what we'll be talking about a year from now, 5 years from now.
It's exciting, but also a little bit daunting, Like we have all this power, but we got to use it wisely.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How do we make sure AI benefits humanity? That it doesn't get out of control.
It's a balancing act for sure. We need to embrace the innovation, but also be mindful of the risks.
Like, we've seen how AI can do amazing things, amplify human capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
But we've also seen how it can be used in ways that are, well, maybe not so great.
Exactly. Like that whole thing with Grok AI, even if it was a mistake, it shows how important it is to be vigilant. To keep an eye on these systems.
And it's not just up to the developers, right? It's all of us. We all have a responsibility to think about these issues, to talk about them.
Absolutely. We need to be part of the conversation. We need to ask the tough questions.
Yeah, we need to keep learning, keep adapting. Because AI isn't going away. It's only going to become more integrated into our lives.
It's true. And ultimately, the future of AI is the future of humanity. They're intertwined, whether we like it or not.
Well said. I think that's a great place to leave it for today. We've covered a lot of ground, and I hope our listeners are walking away with, some food for thought.
Me too. It's been a great discussion as always. And hey, maybe we'll have some answers to these questions next time we deep dive.
Yeah, or maybe we'll just have more questions. That's the thing about AI. It's constantly evolving. But that's what makes it so fascinating.
It does. So to all our listeners out there, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep exploring the amazing world of AI.
And until next time, keep diving deeper.